I really didn't know. No one informed me that I was speaking here this evening. I really just came to be part of the Irayat. When I went over to Avi to excuse myself, because I have to leave after Mincha, because I'm going to do an early wedding, to officiate at a wedding, told me, no, Rabbi, please stay, say a few words. I told them really not prepared. However, I am going to a wedding, and Hazal tell us, Tov lalechet el bet evel mi bet mishteh. Better to go to a house of mourning than to a house of mishteh, of party. Why is that? Because when you go to a bet evel, when you go to a house of mourning, it makes you think, makes you ponder. V'ahai yitena libo, it says. Person takes it to heart what life is really about, and how one day we're living a full life, we're here and we're vibrant, and the next day a person, Has v'Shalom, could be gone. When you're talking about the Meruhemet Alea Shalom, it's even harder to digest. Such a woman who was so vibrant, so full of life, so full of chesed, to try and grasp the scope of this tragedy is very, very difficult and almost impossible. But I'd just like to say over the following. There was a man by the name of Mike Tress. Mike Tress lived back in the 40s and the 50s. And he was the man in America in charge of Klal Yisrael, and worked day and night on behalf of the war effort to save Jews in Europe. And actually, when the war was over, he went there in an army uniform. He came back without shoes. He was barefoot when he got off the plane. He gave his shoes to one of the survivors. Nothing. This was a man who worked literally 24/7, even on Shabbat, to save lives. He was a great man. He was going to be one of the future leaders of Klal Yisrael, and he died in his early 40s. And his wife went to the Gadol Ador at the time, to Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, and she said to him, how could it be? How could my husband die at such a young age? After everything he did and was doing, and all the future plans he had for Klal Yisrael, how could he die so young? And the rabbi told her, in the next world, in Shamayim, life is not measured by years. Life is measured by deeds. Your husband had so much deeds, so many great deeds. When he gets to heaven, he's not judged as a 43-year-old or a 44-year-old. He's looked at someone who was maybe close to 100 years old because of his deeds. And that's the way the person will be rewarded. For Netzach Netzachim, not for the 70 or 80 years that we spend in this world, but for infinite life. The Hatam Sofer, in the Hakdama, the introduction to his commentary on Shulchan Aruch, says something that will blow your mind. He says over there, how unfortunate we are that we have to stay in this world 70, 80, 90 years. How lucky are those tzaddikim that leave this world after 30, 40 years. Those are the real tzaddikim. He's talking about righteous people that die young. He says, we're here because of our sins. And we have to be here to make a kapara for all the averot we have. But those tzaddikim that leave this world at 30, 40, and they go straight to Olam Haba. Somebody that dies young is a ben Olam Haba. And they have Netzach Netzachim. Those are the lucky ones. Something very difficult to understand. But Rabotai, we have to understand that the Meruhemet Alea Shalom, Naomi Malka, Bat Rachel, is in a better place. We are in pain. And the pain is going to last for a long time. And it hurts. And the void is horrendous. Terrible. Something terrible. But she herself, she knows we believe in Hachamim, and we believe in what it says in the Gemara, and we believe what they tell us. that she is definitely in a better place. She's a ben olam haba immediate. There's no such thing as a kapara for averot, right? There's no room for that when somebody passes away at a young age, and somebody was such a wonderful person in the prime of her life, accomplishing so much. If you were in the Beit Avel this week, the Levaya is something in itself, but if you were in the Beit Avel this week, and you saw the outpouring of love and concern, and the way how everybody's coming, and even if you're just sitting there, you could see it on people's faces. Eimo anochi betzara. I'm with you, Avi. I'm with the family. I'm with the mother. I'm with the children. Yeah, we feel it. We feel it as a community. We feel it as one. If somebody loses a finger, he doesn't say, oh, I have 9 other fingers, it's nothing. No, it's painful. Very painful. And the pain is going to last for a while. But Be'ezat Hashem, that pain will turn one day into good memories about Naomi. And things will be written up about her, I have no question. And we'll learn from her ways. And we'll make this place a better world because of her. This wonderful family should know no more tzarot. Avi, I know it's got to be how difficult and how hard and how painful to think about next week. How hard it is to just go back to normal life. Once again, we are with you. You have a tremendous support system here. And you, everybody knows you have leadership qualities. You're going to use those qualities now to lead your family, to lead your children, show them the right path, to keep them on the path that your wife wanted. And Bezat Hashem, you're going to see much nahat from them. You're going to see tremendous nahat from your children. Bezat Hashem, there'll be grandchildren. And Yehirat Son, that in our lifetime we will see the coming of the Mashiach and Tehiyat Metim, Ubilah HaMavet LaNetzach. Amen.
Lech Lecha are the words that Abraham's life was framed by. It was the first command that he received in his first discussion with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It was the last words. He was initially told, Lech Lecha me'arsecha mimoladtecha u'mbet avicha. Detach from your homeland, from your father's household, from everything that you know and is familiar to you. And the final words were Lech Lecha el Eres HaMoriah, the Akedah. Detach from your place right now, from your comfort zone, and sacrifice your son. What did Lech Lecha mean? Why was it necessary for Abraham? Abraham led a life as a trailblazer. He set forth a new path. In the words of the Torah, it was a derech Hashem. It was unprecedented. It was la'asot tzedakah u'mishpat, righteousness. It was unheard of before Abraham. In order to do so, he needed to detach. He needed to separate himself, to distinguish himself, to be seen as different, to be understood as different. Abraham's success came because of his Lech Lecha. He was able to create a new path because he separated himself from others. Naomi, in her lifetime, set her own mission of Lech Lecha. Undeterred by what others thought, what others did, she followed a path of Chesed, a path of Tzedakah u'Mishpat, a path that she knew was right. Just this past week, the Yeshiva of Flatbush Ladies Auxiliary realized that after school the kids were going out in order to buy snacks across the street. It seemed dangerous. Little kids crossing the street and going to the gas station alone. So Naomi met with the principal of the school. She sat in a meeting explaining that something had to change. She came up with a plan. The ladies' auxiliary now would sell the snacks after school. But she didn't stop there. She did it herself. She went to buy the ices and the snacks that would be sold. Naomi understood what it meant to be lech lecha, to separate yourself, to trailblaze and start something new by distinguishing yourself and being seen and understood as different. Just this past week, candy was on sale in Brooklyn, and Naomi set out to find the cheapest candy in anticipation of Purim. Looking down the road, down the year, Purim in the yeshiva of Flatbush, she knew the cheapest candy would assure the most candy. And so, alone, she drove up and down the streets of Brooklyn, finding a CVS on Flatbush Avenue, striking gold in her words, and buying candy for Purim in yeshiva of Flatbush later in the year. But throughout her life, Naomi was holechet la. She entered the yeshiva of Flatbush every morning and greeted the maintenance staff, the security guards, with a smile, with a good morning. There were no difficult days with them. There was no bad looks, no hard feelings. Even when things didn't go her way, it was a smile and a joyful good morning. Avraham was a success, and so was Naomi. But Avraham had a dilemma at the end of his life. How was it that his descendants would be able to continue? If his success was measured by his lech lecha, by distinguishing himself, well, how would they do that? They were set on that mission. I mean, we all know when new missions, when new movements sprout up, their success generally is because they're unique, because they're different, because there's something new. How would his descendants be able to follow in that path? And so Avraham turned at the beginning of this week's parasha to his Eved, and he said, find a wife for my son, but not from here. Not from my family, not from my environment where I am situated right now, but go back to Arsi, to Moladti. Go back to my homeland and go back to that country and make her detach herself. The future would sprout from a new Lech Lecha, from Rivka being able to follow in the footsteps of Avraham and set out on a unique path of her own. Naomi's success, her enduring success, will be measured the same way. It's for us to learn from her. It's for us to learn from the steadfast conviction of Naomi, from her acts of chesed, from her unswerving dedication to her family and to the community, and from her unflinching energy in all that she pursued. It's for us now to set out on our own lech lecha, to follow in the footsteps of Naomi, to understand what it means to be undeterred, to live with a conviction, to understand what's right, and to not worry about what anyone else thinks. Tehi nishmata serura b'sror ha'chayim. Rabbi Naomi Houllou will be speaking for Joyce and Anna's Avi's sister.
My cousin Joyce Hernandez, who happens to be Naomi's sister-in-law, requested that I speak on her behalf. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do justice to your words, Joyce, but I will try. I will try to maintain my composure, so I do apologize to all of you. So let me start. Naomi, where do I begin? I remember when Avi first brought you home. You took to the family right away, adapting our slang and culture Although it was different from what you were used to, we used to tease you that you'll only be a true Sfarad once you eat rice on Pesach. You became like a sister to me right away, and we always joked that you were my sister. We spent so much time together in those years. We did errands, I shopped, and who can forget the days that you were playgroup Mora with me. You loved my kids like they were yours. You gave Chaim and Nisim piggyback rides all over the house. You never said no. Naomi, you knew their likes and dislikes and made sure to do everything accordingly. Even as they got older, you would always do your check-in on them. You always followed up and made sure to know where they were holding. You never missed a beat. You came to graduation, even though it was long and boring. And when you didn't come, you made sure to always drop a little something special off at home. You made them all feel like $1 million, but it wasn't just them who felt good. Your warmth and sincerity touched all who ever knew you. You were a real person. You accepted everyone. You always had a smile and a nice word for everyone. How many people came and told me that they only knew you through me? But whenever they saw you, you didn't miss a beat. You would greet them by first name and with your trademark smile. As I write, so many memories rise to the surface. I remember our walking days. Every afternoon we would put the little ones in the strollers and our walk would begin. You would walk and teach me how to walk so I can get the most benefit from the exercise. You shared in all my semachot like they were yours. You would run the show from behind the scenes. Yitzhak's bris was on Shabbat at home. You came from early to set up and didn't leave till the last dish was cleared. Your phone call always came in, not asking Joyce, what do you need? You would say, Joyce, I'm taking care of A, B, C, and O, and D. So don't do anything. And that was that. It was finalized. You never took no for an answer. After giving birth, I would come home from the hospital, and I knew you were in my house. Who else would drop off diapers and wipes and all baby essentials? You knew I didn't prepare anything in advance. Naomi, remember your excitement when my twins were born. You couldn't get enough of it. You insisted that I have matching car seats. You would stop by to take a peek. You couldn't get over it. You called Yosef sad eyes because his eyes were always teary. Naomi, you opened your heart and your home. We knew that pizza night could only be in your house. Who else would sit still at their seat while their house was being broken down by all the kids there? And then do it again 4 weeks later. Naomi, you were beautiful, but your insides matched your outside. You're always looking to see who you could help. Chesed was your priority. You wanted to open a better shamayim in your tiny basement. So you thought of a solution because there was no space. You'll get rid of the toys. Naomi, you were the address for an honest, straightforward opinion. Even Josh always said to me, if you want an honest answer, call Naomi. Naomi, we shared so many milestones as the kids grew up. And we always spoke and compared. We shared our maternity clothing. We shared our shoes. We shared our ideas, our dreams, and all our hopes for the future. We compared notes and laughed and worried together. The entire family used to look forward to your Sukkot meal. It was a chance for everyone to get together. You and I, of course, who doesn't remember your famous dairy meals that you would bring out to the Sukkah. Remember Sukkot, Chol HaMoed and Deal. We all spent the day by you eating and swimming, and then night came and it was time to leave. But you wouldn't hear of it. You insisted we all sleep the night. Out came the blankets and pillows on the floors, on the couches, every corner. That was you. You loved plants and gardening. I used to laugh at the sight of you crouching by the front garden in Deal in full gardening attire, pruning the trees, watering, checking each plant. On the windowsill, you always had a new, interesting something growing. A cactus, an orchid, a rose. You would show it to me with such pride and explain what it needs to grow. You loved everyone's kids. You were the fun aunt, the one who knew when a Rubik's Cube was in style and would make sure Yitzhak had one for his grab bag on Hanukkah. The one who bought my Sarah her first set of makeup brushes. Joyce, you have to let her wear makeup already. Where are her heels? You were strong-minded. I told you I don't like when the kids come home late. So, matter-of-factly, you said to me, then lock the door. They'll never do it again. You were always there to lend a hand. You picked me up from the hospital after I had a baby. You insisted Sarah stay up by you when she had a jewelry sake. Oh, jewelry sale. You drove my boys to school on Sunday morning in a snowstorm when there was no one else to do it. You were Naomi, and you were able to do the impossible. Hashem gave you strength and energy, and you channeled it all in your chesed activities and created ripple effects that will last forever. Naomi, your loss leaves an unimaginable void in all our lives and hearts. I know you are up there in Shamayim, watching over your Avi and your beautiful children. May you be a Melis Yosher for them, that they should have only Semachot and all the Beracha in the world. I ask you, Mechila, at this time, and hope and pray for the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days, so we can all be reunited once again. I love you. Amen.
I wanted to read a little something from my two oldest daughters, Rachel and Sarah, that they wanted me to read and share with everyone about their mother. From Sarah, the beautiful Sarah. My mom, my best friend, my diary, my life, my everything. I can't imagine how I am going to live like this without you in my life, but I know that you would have wanted me to be strong and help take care of my younger siblings. And that is exactly what I will be doing with the help of my older sister, Rachel. Words cannot even describe how amazing of a woman you were. Humble, selfless, strong, happy, caring, kind, and loving are only 7 out of the many, many words to describe what kind of a woman you were. When I'm not feeling well, you're always worried, asking me if I ate, if I need to go see the doctor, and telling me I should rest even if you weren't feeling so well yourself. You always put others before yourself. You always knew how to cheer me up with a joke, and you always knew how to calm me down. Mommy, I can't believe this is real, and I love you with all my life. Thank you, Sarah. Rachel, I don't even know where to begin, Mommy. It's been 4 days and 4 nights without you already, and those feel like years. I miss you so much, and I just want you to come home already. This is the worst nightmare I've ever had. I want to wake up, and so do the rest of us. I know everyone's here for us, and people have been walking in and out of the house and in my room, and I'm hoping one knock will finally be you. Coming to either wake me up for school, since you know I can't even wake up with an alarm, because you were always my alarm, or even to yell at me for something stupid I would do, like never go to school, or just shopping too much, and saying that Daddy's gonna get frustrated. You were the best mother any child can have. You worked so hard for all 6 of us, and we barely even got a chance to thank you. Everyone keeps telling me that you're here and I can talk to you, but I just want them to stop telling me that, because you always knew me and how much I hate being ignored and always needed an answer. Not that you're ignoring me, it's just that I can't get an answer I can physically hear. I remember the day I decided to get you a hamster for Mother's Day. It was so obvious that it wasn't the gift you anticipated, but instead of getting frustrated or upset, you left the house and returned 20 minutes later with a full-blown hamster paradise set up. You brought the involuntary pet into our family and took care of it. You've taken in so many people as your family and left that impact on everyone. That's just the type of person you were, accepting, loving, and just everything anyone would hope to be in a mother and a person. I just want to wake up with you at 5 in the morning and go to the gym together. You would do all the cardio while I had the trainer. I want to wake up and come downstairs, have my egg whites with spinach ready-made like you always made me every morning, because you knew I wanted to go on the same diet as you, because I wanted to do everything like you did. But I know I can't even be half as good as you were. Mommy, I just don't think that this is fair anymore, that us, all of your babies, have to mourn the loss of you, our mother who was also a baby. You didn't even get to do half the stuff you wanted to, like even go to Venice that I had to push you to do because you didn't want to go on a 15-hour flight each way just to be there for 2 days. But you would do it for me because you always broke your back for all of us. I want you to be here shopping with me on Net-a-Porter for Venice because it's next week. We were supposed to go away next week together for my Sweet 16. Not that Coachella wasn't enough fun with you. I remember being there and everyone came up to us telling us how we were sisters, and you would turn to me and say, "Ha. See, I'm not the average mama who takes their children all the way to Coachella just for fun." I don't know who's going to protect me as much as you did from life, from the bad stuff, from the monsters under my bed, and even from Daddy sometimes. Like the time I crashed... like the time I crashed Daddy's car when you went away, and somehow you guys always knew what was going on, and Daddy kept calling me, but I would ignore his calls. And that would answer your call, only because you were so calm about it and calmed down even Daddy. I hate the way I'm seeing all these people again that I haven't even seen in so long because of all of this. I wish it was a happier time, and I wish you were here too to see all the people and love going through this house, because you would like it, seeing all my friends and all your friends like this. Everyone's doing all they could for us, breaking their backs for us, but it will never ever add up to what you could do. I don't want to be selfish right now, but knowing you for 16 years wasn't enough. And then I think that Grace only had 2, and it just drives me crazy, because 16 is so little, but 2 is nothing. Grace is your smallest baby, and even though she doesn't understand, none of us do, but she misses your belly and lying down with you. We all do. You're the only one who knew how to take care of Sarah, Allegra, Rose, Nisim, Grace, and I. Mommy, I just want to wake up already. It's not fair. It's too long of a dream already. Mommy, I miss you too much already. Please, please come home. I want you to see all my amazing friends doing all these mitzvot for me. And the family, they love you as much as I do. And we all miss you. You even got a chance to be close to them, and they love you to pieces. Mommy, I love you so much. And again, I know that this is selfish, but I'm so happy I got to be your firstborn and have the most time with you. I love you. Before I talk about Naomi, I wanted to first of all really say how amazing the outpour and the outreach and the community that we are in no one should ever need to know, and no one should ever need it. But I mean, even just from the funeral itself, the hundreds and hundreds of people that were there, even outside, people coming in from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock, even though it's supposed to be 9. I heard even that all the yeshivot, even Magen David, Flatbush Yeshiva, everyone, they brought people to speak to all the children. Sephardic Bikur Cholim, shiurim that they're doing and classes in her honor. People doing, putting chalot together. They already got 220 families, I heard, doing it and making hamotzi in her honor within a day. They put together a website for dinners within a day. My sister-in-law was showing it to me last night, telling me about it, and she's like, they already have through March 12th. Right, she was showing it to me through March 12th, and then she hit refresh, and it was May 12th. May 17th, I'm sorry. Sephardic Community Center, I heard, is even already working on people putting together stuff to put in the freezer. It's just really amazing. No one should ever need it. No one should ever have to go through anything like this. But we should all know and appreciate the community and the Jewish community and especially the Syrian Sephardi community in Brooklyn and all over the world. Someone actually mentioned to me when they came to visit that they thought it was a good idea to give, I think it was my sister, Joyce actually, who said, I think it'll be a good idea to take a pen and a notepad or something and have people write some stories, because people are coming and telling us so many things that we had no clue, and different experiences that they had with Naomi. So unfortunately, Joyce is not so good digitally, but I was thinking really, and I discussed it with Roy, and I did think, first of all, it would be really nice. And where's Roy? Roy put together a site, I think, and which he'll share afterwards, which would love if anyone wants to share anything, any experiences, or even any enforcement, anything that they want to put up there in her memory, or to make anyone else stronger, or strengthen anyone else. I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful idea, and would be appreciated for us. I know she would appreciate, Naomi would be so happy, I mean, from just the small changes and things that we've heard, and how she touched so many people's lives. First of all, I happened to look at her phone, I think it was Tuesday morning, and just from Sunday, I mean, by Monday morning, almost everyone knew, amazingly, again, with the community, how everyone spread the word immediately and made sure to know that there's a tragedy in the community, that everyone should reach out and do whatever they can. But I looked at her phone, and just from Sunday alone, she had 7 or 8 texts, messages, WhatsApps, emails. I didn't even go through the emails, actually, of people reaching out to her and asking her different types of questions or advice or anything, which, I mean, I knew she had plenty of people, but I didn't even realize how many. Within a few hours that she didn't read her phone from that Sunday. So I know for sure she'd be very, very happy to know any changes, because of her, people did to improve their lives. I had someone actually just messaging me tonight, met Naomi one time. She came over to our house. She slept over for the night, actually. A cousin of mine, which Naomi never met before, and she was so amazed. She texted me today that she doesn't even know what to write or what to say. Her heart's broken, and she said that she's going to accept on herself to start keeping Shabbat, and she's so excited that it's for her first Shabbat to ever keep. Never kept a Shabbat before. So that's just one of the many, many different things, and things which I know would make her really, really happy. I knew how amazing she was. Obviously, I was married to her for 18 plus years. And I knew she had the 6 children, everything she did for the yeshiva, all the gemachs she did, all the other charities, and everything else that she did, plus dealing with me alone. Anyone who knows me knows that's a lot more than all combined. But as much as I knew nothing. Hearing all the stories from everyone people coming in, every other person from the yeshiva even telling me, no, you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I know she did how much she did. No, she ran the school. No, she was my person I spoke to for everything. As much as I knew nothing. Just the things that I've learned over the last 3-4 days blew my mind. As amazing of a person as I knew she was, knowing her for over 21 years, being married to her for 18 and a half years, and having our 6 beautiful children together. I can go on forever talking about her, so I decided that I would only talk about 3 or 5 of her strongest midot that I think, the qualities that I thought that really stand out, and focus on those. I would say number 1, first of all, was how real Naomi was. Emet. She was true to her core. If there was one word that I would say first and foremost to describe Naomi, was how real she was. No matter who the person was, like we've heard from previous speakers, and I'm sure almost everyone heard coming to the house alone, and everyone who knew her, she was always so warm to every single person, whether it was the warehouse employee or the janitor or any person she ever met. Countless people came and told me how warm she was to them, always. Constantly, always with a smile at every time, warm and welcoming them. Her friendly smile was always there. As I was saying, first of all, I mean, what amazed me even more than that, I mean, of course, that was amazing how real she was and how sweet she was and warm she was to every single person. What amazes me even more in a way, Ashley, is how no matter who the person was and what they had or how powerful they were or were not, or what their position was or anything, she treated that person as well the same exact way. Not more or not less for any person. She was real to her core. As I was saying the story, talking about Naomi, one of the people who came to visit was telling me how he was talking to his brother in his work, and talking about Naomi. They both knew Naomi, and they were crying. All of a sudden, he sees his Spanish driver, start bawling. Like, asked him, "Why are you crying?" Said, "You sent me to her house one time, a couple of years ago, to go pick something up, and she was so warm. She pulled me into the house, helped me carry the boxes out, gave me 3 bottles of water from the 5 minutes that he met her." And numerous people in this room who've met her once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, every single person has that same experience, and countless people, which I can count myself by just from looking around in the crowd, how many there were like that were just amazed from one time. How efficient Naomi was. A few years back, like Sala mentioned from Joycey, she decided to make the dish gemach. One of her friends ate by us for Shabbat, and she saw a dish that she liked, and her brother was getting engaged, and she wanted to borrow the dish. Next night, Thursday night, we're speaking, and she tells me, "I think it's a good idea if we open up a gemach for people to borrow the dishes." Naomi, this is before we even moved. We're on East 28th Street. We have a tiny basement, half the size of the house. Toys, mashallah, for the 5 kids, We didn't even have room for the toys, like she said. What are we gonna do with the toys, Naomi? They don't even play with half of them. We'll put them out. I'm gonna leave the toy, 2 toys for each of the kids that they play with, and I'll make room. I'm gonna empty out this room, and we're gonna put all the dishes over there. Okay, you want to do it? Go ahead. Next day I come home before Shabbat, and of course the toys are gone in the garage, everything. The room is filled with dishes. She went out herself, bought dishes, pots, carried everything, filled up the whole room. Sunday night already, people coming to borrow the dishes and use them. She didn't waste any time, and I guess now I know why. Maybe Hashem, she had no time to waste. Tzniut, how modest she always was. From the way she dressed to the way she acted, to anything. I always, when I want to buy her something, I want to buy her cotton. No, it's too fancy. I don't want it. I don't want that. Anything she did was with modesty. Her smile, how happy she always was, how generous she always was. Everyone always knew that our house was an open house. Parties, Rachel and Sarah, every other night took a turn. Please, and not only was it okay, but she begged them, please, I want them in our house. I want everyone to come to our house. I want to see your friends. You don't have to go out. Let your friends come over. Night after night, you can ask our neighbor, unfortunately for them. The barbecues that we had, countless people in this room know, not only did she open her house and her heart, you came over, I did nothing besides just sit, entertain. Naomi even ran the barbecue. I don't know how many women run the grill, but Naomi did. All the charities that she had, she always loved supporting people. She made it her business on almost dozens, I would say, of start-at-home businesses within the community to support them and help them to get their feet off the ground. Always, constantly, she made sure to send all the business their way so they're successful, especially when they're startups. My brother-in-law was just telling me a story. My brother-in-law Mechi was just telling me a story where his wife Hudi was by our house, and she saw a cookbook that Naomi bought, which I knew she was so excited to get for a while. And Hudi's saying, "Oh, it's so cool, it's so great, the cookbook." And Naomi's like, "Oh yeah, I got it for you." She didn't get it for her. Sorry, Hudi. But she made you believe it, and that's how her heart was, always open. Everything was for other people before her first, always. It's so hard for us to understand, especially myself, my mother-in-law, all my in-laws, my beautiful 6 children, to understand and accept something like this. But when I hear what all the rabbis are saying, as the rabbi said before, what a zechut it is for people like the Ben Ish Chai said, I believe he said it was the Ben Ish Chai, or the Chazon, Chatan Sofer, of people being lucky, living 30 to 40 years. I can't understand it. I definitely can't understand it. But maybe that's the Olam HaEmet, and that's why she lives such a short life. Maybe that's why she was able to accomplish so much people haven't accomplished within their whole lifetime of 100 years. She had no time to waste, and she was here for a mission and to get back. I know she would love to hear anything. She's smiling down at us and happy to see anything that anyone was mekabel on themselves, or she did to help make someone happier or feel better or improve their life. So anything that anyone does, I'm sure will make her smile even more. We should only chant semachot and good things, B'ezrat Hashem.
Shmayahu Markovic, Naomi's brother-in-law.
It's very hard to talk about somebody that's so special. Everybody who ever met her from the first moment just experienced what a giving, wonderful person she was from the minute my wife and I were engaged, and people from different sides of the family wanted to know what we needed, what do we have. I would come back to my wife, tell her somebody wanted to guess this. No, sorry, Naomi got it already. Next item on the list. No, sorry, it's taken. Naomi got it for us already. It's just, that was her nature. Everybody experienced it. The one constant throughout all the stories from the Shiva, the details are different, which chesed she did for who, but everyone always felt that warmth. They felt like she was somehow benefiting from doing chesed for them. Just anything she did with the smile, with the open heart, the brilliant radiance that shone. She had that magnetic personality. She walked into a room and everybody just went over to talk to her. Everyone loved being around her. Everything she said was with wisdom. Everything she said was took seriously. It wasn't just small talk. It was always something there. We're already worrying about the next time anything comes up. Who are we going to turn to for advice? Whatever we had, with the kids, a medical thing. Who should we call? Naomi. Anything, she was the first person. And if she wasn't the first person, we would spend time worrying until we remembered, oh yeah, let's call Naomi. And then, oh, it's okay. One thing that I keep thinking, it's you look at me and you look at her, and you wonder, how do people like this understand each other and get along? But she had just this amazing ability to accept anybody for who they were, what they were. There's no judgment. There's no such thing as, what do you think about me? What am I supposed to think about you? What are the different communities? It's very, a Sephardi woman running Yeshiva Flatbush and Ashkenazi Kol guy shouldn't really mix. And for me to get all the advice through my wife from her might sound a little bit funny, but that's the way it was. That's who she was. Everybody knows it, and it's not much more that I could add about that. Just wanted to mention this week in the parasha we read that Avraham Lispa L'Sarav Liv Koisa. Famously, there's a small kaf over there in the word Liv Koisa. The Balaturim points out, he has a couple of reasons why there's a small kaf. The first one he says is because she was old, so Avram didn't cry so much. Unfortunately, our situation here seems like we have a very big kaf that we're dealing with here. This is a tremendous loss. As much as she did in her life, she had so many more years left to be a wife, to be a mother, to be an active member in the community, be a sister and a sister-in-law and a daughter, and everything that she did for everybody. But we do have the opportunity to learn from her, as everyone keeps saying, and to use that to continue her legacy. And I saw recently somebody wrote, we say many times in the davening, right? We say in Birchas HaTorah, when we say V'niyah nachnu v'tzetzeinu, v'tzetzo'ei, we're requesting for our own limud Torah, not just for our children, but our children's children. Same thing we find in Kaddish the Rabbanon. We pray for the rabbis, our Rabbanon, Val Talmidehon, and their students, Val Kol Talmidehon, and their students. Part of the legacy, part of the teaching that somebody gives is not enough just to give it to that generation, but somehow to instill that it goes to the next stage, to get it to to the students. We all here were lucky enough to experience the way she did chesed, and hopefully we could learn from her, be inspired to do chesed and the way she was able to do it. But we also have to be able to inspire whoever we're helping to become students of the chesed that we are students of Naomi. And that's going to be her true legacy. And as far-reaching as everything she did was, it could reach further. And Bezrat Hashem it will.
Yankee Dweck, Avi's brother-in-law.
The Rasha today, tonight will be the Luli Shmat, my sister-in-law, Naomi Malka Bat Rahel. As we heard by the Devaya, our Rosh Yeshiva, Cham Yosef Aful, said, there's really nothing you could say, it's a Gezerah from Shamayim, but recently I found in a sefer called Zera Shimshon something eye-opening. He quotes from Ma'ava Yavok, I quote, the eulogy for the person who's nifteret serves as an important purpose. The reason hespedim are so crucial for the person who passed away is because the listeners crying open the gates of tears while redirecting the deen away from the niftar. Gemara says the gates of tears are never closed, but the crying and sadness should be focused on the spiritual loss of the person's neshama and not the physical loss of his or her body. So Rabotai, tonight we're going to try, through these words that we're about to speak, to arouse ourselves, to bring us to tears, and to sweeten the judgments in Shamayim. I'd like to read to you a letter that my wife, my wife Mali, wrote in honor of Muhammad Naomi Malka Bat Rahel. She writes, my sister-in-law, Naomi Houllou, could it be that I will no longer see or hear you? It feels impossible. You are so young, so happy, so full of life, so involved with your kids' upbringing, so efficient, so responsible, so smart, so caring, so healthy, and so strong. Someone like you doesn't pass away at 37 years old. The age of 37 has a deeper meaning. And this week's parasha is Hayeh Sarah. The parasha opens with Sarah's passing, and Torah informs us how old Sarah was when she passed away, by beginning with the words, V'yu Hayeh Sarah. Zohar Kadosh points out that the word V'yu has a numerical value in gematria of 37, which is the age of Yitzhak Avinu at the time of Sarah's passing. This comes to tell us that from the time Yitzhak was born, Sarah's life was considered life. Until Yitzhak's birth, Sarah's life wasn't considered life. The 37 years that Sarah spent with Yitzhak were the only years she actually lived. Naomi, you lived the same amount of years as Sarah Imenu. You gave life to the people around you for 37 years, like Yitzhak Avinu gave life to his mother Sarah Imenu. You invested so much into Avi, your kids, Rachel, Sarah, Allegra, Rose, Nisim, and baby Grace. You gave them life every single day. How will they continue to live without you? The Zohar states that Yitzhak Avinu had a female neshama for the first 37 years of his life. At 37, he was brought as a korban shalem on Har HaMoriah. At the time of Akedah, Yitzhak's female neshama left him and was replaced with a male neshama, thus enabling him to have children for the future generations of the Jewish people. Naomi, you are a 37-year-old female, a korban shalem that Hashem took from us so suddenly. Naomi, you have so many amazing qualities that we can all learn from. Honesty was your entire being. If anyone needed an honest opinion, they knew you were the person they can trust. Being honest and real under every circumstance can be a challenge, but not for you, Naomi. When something was right, you saw nothing but the truth no matter what. You were mikabel kol ha'adam b'seh panim yafot. No difference did it make to you if someone had more or less than you. You were equally nice to everyone, never giving anyone an inferior feeling or feeling that they are being looked down on because they have less or are different. You were ba'alat hesed. All the kids love coming to you because you never got upset at them. You did hesed and hasat ohim on the spot without talking a lot. If you saw the kids were having fun by you, you would say, so just stay for the night. It didn't have to be planned. You were always prepared. When my kids heard that you were nifteret, they were shocked. My Moshe said, Ma, Naomi always let us use her pool. When I was hungry, she would just order me something. On Hanukkah, she would tell me, I'm getting you a bigger present because you're older. Nisim said, you made the greatest parties. Let everyone use all your stuff and gave out all the best stuff. It's hard to accept what happened to you. The thing that keeps me going is the hizuk that you gave me. 2 months ago, you broke your leg and therefore did not go to Barcelona. At the time, you were supposed to be at Barcelona. Unfortunately, we heard there was a terrorist attack in the area where you were supposed to be at. I called you to tell you Hashem loves you and therefore you broke your leg. Your response was, everything Hashem does is good. Sometimes we see it and sometimes we don't. I keep retelling myself, this is what you want us to think, and that is why you told it to me so recently. Thank you for giving me the strength to continue. Naomi, on your house wall, there's a sign with family rules, which goes as follows. Number 1, keep your promises. Share. Think of others before yourself. Say, I love you. Listen to your parents. Do your best. Say please and thank you. Always tell the truth. Laugh at yourself. Hug often. Use kind words and love each other. These rules were the makeup of your chinuch. We know that if you want to know who someone is yours, you should look at their children. You have and raise the 6 best kids. I know they have the best midot. I know that from your kids I will always hear please and thank you. They are happy for others and care for each other. They are honest like you and always want to do what's right. Hashem, I know that you are praying for each one of them, that they should continue to grow in the ways of the Torah mitzvot. Naomi, you don't take no for an answer. Beg Hashem to watch over the kids, that they should have the strength to move forward and always bring Naha to you and Avi. On your kitchen wall, I saw you left a task undone. It said, book flights to Israel. We pray that Be'ezat Hashem, Mashiach should be here quickly. We should all be reunited in Yerushalayim Habenuyah. Amen ve'amen. I miss you great. From Mali. Teheh nishmatat tzurah b'tzorah hayim. Amen.
צדיק אתה אדוני וישר משפטיך, צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מעשיו. צדקתך צדק לעולם, תורתך אמת, משפטי אדוני אמת צדקו יחדיו, באשר דבר מלך שלטון מי יאמר לו מה תעשה. והוא באחד מישיבנו בנפשו איבתה ויעש. קטון וגדול שם הוא ועבד חופשי מאדוניו. הן בעבדיו לא יאמינו במלאכיו ישים תהודה. אף כי אנוש רימה ובן אדם תולעה, אסור תמים פעולו, כי כל דרכיו משפט אל אמונה ואין עוול, צדיק וישר הוא. דיין האמת, שופט צדק ואמת, ברוך דיין האמת, כי כל משפטיו צדק ואמת. אשת חיל מי ימצא ורחוק מפנינים מכרה, תנודה מפרי ידיה ויהרדוה בשערים מעשיה. רחמנא דרחמנותא דילהי ובממלא יתברי ועלמיה על מה הדין ועל מה דעתה וכנז בה צדקניות וחסדניות דעבדן נאותה ובממלא וביקרא ובתוקפה יאמר למעל לקודמוהי דוכרן האישה כבודה והשנואה והנכבדת מרת נעמי מלכה בת רחל רוח אדוני תניחנה בגן עדן בתרת מן עלמה הדין כראות אליה מראה שמיה וערה המלך ברחמה ויחוס ויחמוד עליה וילווה עליה שלום ועל משכבה יהיה שלום כדכתיב יבוא שלום ינוח על משכבותם הולך נכוחו היא וכל בנות ישראל השוכבות עמה בכלל הרחמים והסליחות וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן אלה המוות לנצח ומחה אדוני אלוהים דימה מעל כל פנים וחרפת עמו יסיר מעל כל הארץ כי אדוני דיבר יחיו מתך נבלתי יקומון הקיצו ורננו שוכני עפר כי טל אורות עליך בארץ רפאים תפיל הוא רחום יכפר עוון וישחית ברבה לשבעה פה לא יעיד כל חמתו אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ביום קורנו ותנוחמו מן השמיים